Okay, just to start off this video, hair I slept in, haven't brushed it, haven't redone it, didn't even wash it last night. So this is happening. Also didn't get a lot of sleep, so this is happening. Okay. And I haven't bought a tripod yet for my camera, so you are leaning on a pile of books. When I say leaning, I mean you are on top of a pile of books. Apparently I lost the ability to speak English as well, so it's a really good start to the video. Well done, everybody. But we're here. Now, I am making a video today about something that doesn't really relate to this country particularly, but I think it's an important topic, and also, the internet is technically the World Wide Web, not just UK web, so we're gonna talk about it because it matters. Now, last week in Florida, and I know this is happening all around the world, but this is dominating the headlines, so we're just going to focus on this one right now. But in Florida, a kid took, I'm not even sure how many guns. I can't imagine it was just one, but maybe it was. I don't know enough about guns to know what's possible, what we're going to capable of. But anyway, he went to school and he shot 17 of his fellow classmates, and I think that as an isolated incident, that is horrendous, but it is the 18th incident of its kind since the start of the year in the US alone. Like, this isn't even accounting for any gun crimes that are happening in the rest of the world. That's in the US alone, a Western country with a supposedly Western modern democracy, and this is happening. Now we know why. We know why it was easy for him to go get a gun. We've all seen the documentaries, we've all read the headlines. We know that their gun control laws in America are pretty much non-existent. I remember when Columbine happened and thinking, oh my god, this is awful, but now maybe the laws will change. They didn't, and there have been multiple shootings since. I mean, I think possibly in the hundreds in terms of school shootings. I'm not sure of the numbers. I should probably have researched that before I started this video. But anyway, school shootings aren't stopping. Now, of course, there are other kinds of shootings going on. There are police shooting innocent people. There are police shooting guilty people. There are guilty people shooting other guilty people. There are people shooting police. There are innocent people getting caught up in the crossfire. There are all kinds of shootings happening in America because their gun laws are non-existent. But school shootings, I think, particularly resonate with people because when your children are at home with you, you can look after them, you can protect them, you can give them everything they need to be safe and happy and healthy. But the law states that we have to send our kids to another institution for the vast majority of the day. And even if the law didn't state that, most parents work, and so they have to, the equation means that for their children to be looked after, they are going to need to be sent to another institution to look after them. So we put a lot of trust in our schools to keep children safe. And so in America, these kids go to school every day, and the parents think that their children are safe. And now the big, ridiculous nature of the situation is that there are metal detectors in the entrances of many schools in America. I think the vast majority of schools in America, because they're aware of the issue of gun crime, and they are trying to catch people who might be taking a gun to school. What kind of world are we living in where you need to have metal detectors at the school gates? I didn't go to a school like that. I also wasn't aware of any school shootings that happened in my lifetime. I know Dunblane was the last one before the laws changed, but I can't remember when that exactly was. Again, research I should have done before I started the video. Either way though, it happened once, we changed our laws. I now wouldn't even know where to get a gun, but if I go to America on holiday tomorrow, I know that I can go into Walmart or Kmart and I can buy a gun. Let alone all the little independent gun stores, or the gun fairs that go on. Speaking of which, we do allow gun fairs in this country. So a country which basically its policy is, no, we don't like guns, we don't want people to have guns, but you want to have an arms fair here? You want to, yeah, come on in, that sounds great, that sounds fine. No, if you're against guns, you're against guns, and that should just be the rule, the law, the way it works. So, anyway, the shooting happened last week, and it was horrific and awful, and I didn't know how to process it. as I'm sure many of the rest of the Western world feels the same. But do you know what did happen? And this is the first time in a long time where I've actually felt a little bit of hope. The students didn't just go quietly into the night. Oh no. They said, this has to be the last time. We will not let this happen again. We are going to fight to the ends of the earth to get this to stop, to get the laws changed. And the day after this happened, in fact, the day that it happened, but even more so the day after, they were tweeting, they were putting things on Instagram, they were all over social media saying, change the gun laws. You've got to change them. You've got to bring in some gun laws, some gun control. There has to be a change. There has to be something done to stop this happening again. These children, and they are children, they are legally children, are behaving in a way that is so mature, grown up, brave in the face of the grief that they are dealing with right now, that I was speechless, which is why I haven't done a video until now. I was so taken aback and proud and moved by their eloquence, their tenacity, and their courage to stand up and say, enough is enough, something must be done. And it makes me want to stand up and protest with them, even though, again, it doesn't apply to my country. But I don't think that should matter. I don't think it should matter that this happened in a different country to the one that I live in. It happened in a world that I inhabit. It happened to people who only by distance are removed from me. Genetically, DNA, however you look at it, we're all the same. Underneath it all, we are all exactly the same. So the fact that they're in the US and I'm in the UK makes no bit of difference. And this does need to stop. Now, of course, like I said before at the beginning of the video, there are terrible tragedies happening across the world. There is war, there is famine, there are terrible things happening to women. There are incredible atrocities happening that all need to have the same amount of attention and the same amount of energy put into changing them. And I completely believe that, and I support those movements as much as I possibly can. And I will talk about them in the future, and I will stand up and fight. But this one seemed like it needed a bit of further attention right now, because it is the children themselves that are speaking out. The grown-ups, the adults of the situation, are doing nothing. They are not helping at all. The people who could actually make a difference, and they could make a difference today if they wanted to, are doing nothing. But the children are not giving up. And I think that we need to show that. We need to highlight the power of children, the power of the next generation. I, as a parent, believe very strongly that one of my biggest duties as a parent is to make sure that the children that I raise are an asset to the future, and that they bring about good change, and that they pass on kindness and love and generosity and courage and strength and bravery and intelligence and maturity. And it gives me great hope that there are young teenagers out there already fighting the good fight. And we have to support them. We absolutely have to support them, which is why I won't name the person who committed this atrocity. I'm not interested in him. He'll be dealt with. He doesn't need it any more exposure. But these children, they need to be supported. We need to stand up and say, we are with you. And we will support the next generation. We need to give them the power to make their future better. And it shouldn't be up to middle-aged men in a room who are getting paid off by people like the NRA. The future is not mine. The future is my children. It's my children's future, and it is my responsibility to make sure that they get the future that they deserve. And at the moment, they are too young to take a lot of action themselves. But these 16, 17, 18-year-old kids in America right now, they are old enough to speak out, to say how they feel, to say what they think needs to happen. So we need to listen. Because they're not only looking after their own future, they are looking after the future of our young children. I just wanted to make a video just to support these people and to let them know that even when they feel alone, even when they feel like there's no one supporting them, there are lots of people who support them and believe in what they're doing and are so incredibly proud of them. Alright, that's all I have to say for today. I might go brush my hair now. I probably won't. I might get dressed properly. Probably won't. I'm just going to stay in jumper all day. And, I might tidy up. But again, I probably won't. More likely than not, I'm just going to go into a YouTube rabbit hole. Because, why not? At least while Eloise is asleep anyway. Alright. See you all soon.